This is Women's History Month, and we attempt to shine a light on women in baseball. And our next guest is a veteran baseball umpire working in baseball, still as an umpire out on the field, and also on the board of directors for the International Women's Baseball Center. Perry Lee Barber rejoins us here on MLB Now. Perry Lee, it's great to have you back on the show. Welcome back.
Thank you, Brian. Great to be back. Great to still be healthy and ambulatory at my age, still umpiring.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. I first want to ask you, though, again, as you've been umpiring since the 1980s, and truth be told, I should tell people I've seen you umpire games. You have an excellent strike zone. You're an excellent umpire, but just couldn't break through. Obviously, there's been discrimination through the decades. It seems to be getting much better. Your thoughts on Kim Ng being named the first female general manager in Major League Baseball?
Kim Ng is a great advocate for women in baseball in any capacity. And her switch to the Marlins as general manager is great news and good for her. But on the other hand, it's kind of a loss for a lot of us because she initiated some programs that were really helpful in getting girls opportunities to play baseball with and against each other. And fortunately, there are still some really good women at MLB, including Liz Benn, who pitches in a battery with Hera Andre Bergman, who works there with you. And that would be my dream battery as an umpire, is Liz Benn pitching and Hera catching. But yeah, so Kim Ng going to the Marlins is a fantastic move. And the Marlins gained a lot of new fans, I'm sure, because of that. But again, it's a great loss to those of us who were and have been working with her on programs to draw girls to the diamond. So hopefully MLB will not drop the ball on that now that she has moved on, and will continue to expand those programs because they're really great. Right.
That's a good point. Kim Ng going from the league office into an individual team with the Marlins. Yeah. You have individual teams, though, Perry. Now we've had on the show Rachel Balkovic, Alyssa Nankin, Rachel Folden of the Cubs also being hired. Your thoughts on women getting, young women getting an opportunity to actually be coaches and actually with the major league team, not just buried in the minors, but working with major league players?
Well, it's about time. And now we also have Bianca Smith with the Red Sox and Christine Whitlock, who is a Cardinals coach now, and Veronica Alvarez, who is a USA Baseball coach, a former player, and has coached with the Oakland A's, and of course Justine Siegel, who you've had her on your program, who's coached with the
A's, I think. Yeah.
Yes, the A's, yep, and the Israel team. And so, yeah, women have a lot of talent and dedication and knowledge and expertise to bring to the table. And it's about time that those gifts are being made use of, at the highest levels of baseball, because we have a lot to say and a lot to do to help baseball improve in many, many ways.
As far as female umpires, and you're talking about Kim Ng and what she was doing with the league, and I'm told all the time that, no, there's efforts being made to get female umpires on the field, on a major league field. Are we getting any closer?
Well, unfortunately, to me, the push is not nearly enough, or has not been accelerated enough. It's so far past time for a woman umpire to be out there. And even now, 40 years after I first started umpiring, when there was one woman in pro ball, there are now only two. And they are at least 5 or 6 years away from even having a shot at a major league assignment. Although I have every confidence that if they stick with it and stay healthy, they'll make it, because they're both very solid, very talented, really great people. And they will deserve it, and they will have earned it if that happens for them. And I hope they both make it at the same time, frankly, because I think this one at a time thing has been a big impediment, and a big reason why we don't really make any inroads is because, we're such a bother in groups. It's like the estrogen is too much. So we're kept by ourselves singly, one at a time, and it hasn't been enough. And so we need to have support with and amongst ourselves. And the umpire schools are starting to recognize that. And so is MLB and the minor leagues. The teams individually have always taken the lead in that. The Mets have been hiring me to umpire spring training games for 35 years. And a lot of the other teams during spring training, for the games that don't get umpires assigned by MLB, they'll hire local umpires like me and other women that I work with down here. So they have been very good about picking up the slack that MLB has not yet tightened. Right. And very thankful to them for that.
Well, you're right. It's just long past time, way past time. Tell me now, I know you're umpiring now. You're still out there umpiring games. What is the reaction? I'm just thinking in this day and age now, right? We're enlightened now, I think. What is the reaction? Right. What is the reaction on the field? A lot of young ball players, young guys out there when they realize the umpire is a woman.
I'm very happy to say that I am no longer an anomaly or something that they've never seen before. I used to get that a lot, and it didn't ever make me feel good. It hurt me to hear that. But now I'm hearing it less and less as more and more women are learning to umpire and learning how much fun and how challenging it is, and that it's a great way to stay mobile and agile and interested and engaged, and to give back to local communities and to the local little leagues and high schools and college and the amateur associations, because there is so much life beyond Major League Baseball. There is baseball everywhere for all age groups. And now girls are beginning to be a part of that picture too, which is very exciting, because we have traditionally been excluded from that arena. And now we're beginning to participate both with boys, because a lot of the time that's the only way a girl can play. Right. But also now, as more and more girls do that, join boys teams, they're figuring out that now there are enough of them that they can form teams and leagues of our own, which is really the end goal.
Give me the goals of the International Women's Baseball Center. I know you're on the board. What are you trying to do?
We're involved in several very exciting projects, with chief among which is the construction of a girls' and women's baseball museum and education center in Rockford, Illinois, right across the street from Barber Stadium, where the Rockford Peaches played. That's one of the teams that was featured in a league of their own. And we're raising money for that. It's, a long, slow road, but we're doing it. The second is the third annual Women in Baseball Conference that the IWBC is jointly hosting with SABR, the Society for American Baseball Research, and Rockford University, which has welcomed and embraced everything that IWBC has been doing out in Rockford to turn it into a hub for girls and women's baseball. And the third is the effort to get Maud Nelson into the Hall of Fame, to get her elected this coming December for induction in the summer of 2022. Maud Nelson is a woman who pitched back in the late 1800s, early 1900s, and went on to become a very successful executive in baseball. But she's so obscure now, not very many people even know who she is, even though her influence extends all the way through, probably even now, because she trained and had proteges that went on to train and teach in turn players who were in the major leagues in the 1980s and 90s, including Hall of Famer Reggie Jackson. So Maud's influence is vast and far-reaching, and she definitely deserves a shot at being considered as a candidate.
Excellent.
So, and the other one is Justine Siegel's program to open up college baseball as a club activity for girls, which has never been done before. And it's going to open up a pathway for girls to keep playing baseball after age 12, and not just playing, but coaching and umpiring and participating in whatever way they want to. And Justine is working with a lot of college coaches right now to set up these programs so that girls who played high school baseball, and there are more than 100,000 that do, and then they just disappear down the rabbit hole because there's nowhere for them to go after they graduate. So now there will be a place for them to have a safe space within the college arena to keep on playing baseball, and through that to have opportunities to play for the USA women's national team and international baseball, because there are some great women's players, Tamara Holmes, Malika Underwood, who are now in their 40s and, mothers, and they're still playing international baseball at the highest level. And so now younger girls will have those opportunities to do that too, to keep playing, because of what Justine and other women who came before her have done. And it's been a long, difficult road, but women are persistent, and we don't give up. And if we hear no, we'll just go off and work on somebody else until we hear yes.
Stay persistent. Perry,
Yes.
again, I've seen you umpire games, and you're an outstanding umpire, and it just makes no difference. And certainly men don't have an exclusive hold on judgment or eyesight. We know that.